No one is coming to save you. Let's get one thing straight. Nobody is coming. No one is going to drag you out of bed, push you through the pain, or hand you the life you want. That's on you. Too many people sit around waiting for motivation, waiting for the right moment, waiting for someone to believe in them. Wake up. That moment isn't coming. You see, the world doesn't owe you a damn thing. It doesn't care about your excuses, your sad story, or how unfair life has been. It's brutal. It will keep moving forward whether you rise up or stay stuck. And if you choose to stay stuck, guess what? Nobody's losing sleep over it. Most people don't make it because they're still looking for a hand to hold. They want someone to validate their struggle, tell them it's okay to quit. But here's the truth. Life isn't about being saved. It's about saving yourself. It's about looking in the mirror and admitting that every excuse, every failure, every missed opportunity, it all comes down to you. That's a hard pill to swallow, but it's also the most freeing thing in the world. Because if it's on you, that means you have the power to change it. I don't care how bad your past was, how much you've been through. No one is coming to make it right. You have two choices. Sit there and cry about it or stand up and do something. Most people stay down because it's comfortable. Pain is comfortable when you've lived in it long enough. But you weren't built to stay broken. You weren't built to be average. So what are you going to do? Are you going to keep waiting, keep blaming, keep hoping someone comes along to fix your life? Or are you going to take control, suffer through the grind, and come out on the other side unrecognizable? Because that's the only way. Pain is the entry fee. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants greatness. But when pain shows up, they run. They tap out. They make excuses. See, what they don't understand is that pain is the entry fee. You don't get in without it. You don't earn it without bleeding for it. People love to talk about how bad they want it, how they want to be successful, how they want to change their lives. But the second things get hard, they start looking for the exit. Oh, it's too tough. I'm too tired. Maybe this isn't for me. Shut that weak voice up. If it were easy, everyone would have it. You want something, pay the toll. And that toll is suffering. Pain is going to test you. It's going to strip you down, humiliate you, expose every weakness you have. And that's exactly what it's supposed to do. Because most people, when they feel that pain, they quit. They go back to their comfort zone, back to the same life they swore they wanted to escape. But the ones who push through, the ones who embrace the suffering, those are the ones who become something different. You think champions are built on comfort? You think warriors are made in peace? No, they are forged in suffering. Every rep that burns, every mile that makes your legs scream, every time your mind tells you to stop and you keep going, that's the price. That's the cost of entry. And if you're not willing to pay it, then get out of the way for the ones who are. Most people have no idea what they're capable of because they've never gone deep enough into pain to find out. They stop at discomfort. They stop when it's hard. But real growth starts when you have nothing left. When your body is screaming, your mind is begging you to quit, and you still find a way to keep moving. That's where transformation happens. That's where the weak get separated from the relentless. So ask yourself, how bad do you really want it? Are you just talking, or are you willing to suffer for it? Because pain is the cost, and you don't get in without pain. Silence the weak voice. That voice in your head, the one telling you to quit, to slow down, to take the easy way out, that voice is a liar. It's the same voice that's been keeping you average your whole damn life. It whispers, take a break. You've done enough. You're tired. Shut that voice up. That weak voice is your enemy. It's a part of you that wants comfort, that wants the easy road, that wants to stay the same. And guess what? If you listen to it, you lose. You stay weak, you stay soft, you stay stuck in the same cycle of almost starting, almost pushing through, almost becoming great, but never actually getting there.
You see, most people live their entire lives being controlled by that weak voice. They let it make decisions for them. I'm too tired, so they rest. I don't feel like it today, so they quit. It's too hard, so they walk away. And then they wonder why nothing changes. They wonder why they're stuck in the same place year after year, watching other people pass them by. It's because they've never learned to shut that voice up. I don't negotiate with weakness. When my mind tells me I can't, I do it anyway. When my body says it's done, I prove it wrong. Because the second you start listening to that voice, even just a little bit, it takes control, it grows louder, it starts running your life. And before you know it, you've become just like everyone else, full of regret, full of excuses, full of wasted potential. You want to be different, you want to be great, then kill the weak voice. Drown it out with action. Show it who's in charge. When it says stop, you keep going. When it says you can't, you prove that you can. You take that voice, you beat it into submission, and you replace it with something stronger. A voice that refuses to quit, refuses to break, refuses to be anything less than unstoppable, because at the end of the day, there are only two voices in your head. One is weak, one is strong. Which one are you going to listen to? Suffering builds strength. Everybody wants to be strong until it's time to suffer. Everybody wants to be great until they realize what it actually takes. See, strength isn't given. It's not something you're born with. It's something you earn, and the only way to earn it, you have to suffer. Most people don't get that. They think strength comes from comfort, from taking the easy route. They see someone who's disciplined, who's relentless, and they tell themselves, oh, they were just born different. No, they were built different, and they were built through pain. You don't get strong by doing what's easy. You don't develop discipline by quitting when it hurts. You don't become unbreakable by running from struggle. You have to embrace the suffering. You have to lean into it when everything in you is telling you to stop. That's where real strength is made. Not when you feel good, not when it's easy, but when you're at your absolute limit and you keep pushing anyway. Suffering isn't a punishment. It's a test. It's life asking you, how bad do you want this? How far are you willing to go? Most people fail because they can't take the pain. They quit when it gets hard. They make excuses. Oh, it wasn't meant for me. No, you just weren't willing to suffer for it. Look at the strongest people in the world, physically, mentally, emotionally. You think they got there by taking shortcuts, by choosing comfort? No. They got there because they put themselves through hell. They suffered more than anyone else was willing to suffer. And that's why they came out different. Pain is the price, suffering is the process. And most people aren't willing to pay. But the ones who are, the ones who take that suffering, eat it, and keep moving forward anyway, those are the ones who become unstoppable. Those are the ones who rewrite the rules. So ask yourself, are you willing to suffer? Because if you're not, you don't want it bad enough. Turn pain into fuel. Pain is coming. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Life is going to test you. It's going to break you down, humiliate you, push you to the edge, and see if you have the guts to keep going. Most people fold. They let pain control them. They let it weaken them. But me, I use it. I take that pain, that doubt, that suffering, and I turn it into fuel. Most people don't know what to do with pain. They cry about it, they complain, they act like victims. Why me? Why is this happening? Why? Because life doesn't care. Because pain doesn't care about your feelings. It's here whether you like it or not. And if you don't learn to use it, it will use you. When I feel pain, I smile because I know exactly what it means. It means I'm getting stronger. It means I'm in the process of becoming something different, something better. Pain is my fuel. It's the fire that keeps me going when everyone else stops. While they're looking for an escape, I'm digging deeper. While they're running from the suffering, I'm running straight into it. Because I know the truth, pain is the shortcut. You want to be great, you want to be unstoppable, then stop avoiding pain and start using it. Every failure, every setback, every moment where I wanted to quit, I took that pain, bottled it up, and used it to push harder. When people doubted me, fuel. When I was broken, exhausted, had nothing left, fuel. Every insult, every rejection, every time life tried to break me, more fuel. Because pain is energy, and the only difference between the weak and the relentless is what they do with it. Most people waste pain, they let it consume them. But if you flip the script, if you take every ounce of suffering and pour it into the mission, into the grind, into proving yourself unstoppable, that's when pain becomes power. That's when it stops being your enemy and starts being your greatest weapon. So the next time pain comes knocking, don't run, don't hide, use it. Take every ounce of it and turn it into the fuel that sets you apart from it. Because pain is coming either way. The only question is, are you going to let it break you, or are you going to use it to burn brighter than ever? Loneliness is power. The path to greatness is a lonely road. It's dark, it's cold, and most people don't have what it takes to walk it. They need company, they need validation, they need someone to tell them, you're doing great. Me, I don't need a damn thing. I don't need a crowd. I don't need applause. I don't need people to understand why I do what I do, because I know that loneliness is power.
The path to greatness is a lonely road. It's dark, it's cold, and most people don't have what it takes to walk it. They need company, they need validation, they need someone to tell them, you're doing great. Me, I don't need a damn thing. I don't need a crowd. I don't need applause. I don't need people to understand why I do what I do, because I know that loneliness is power. See, most people fear being alone. They need distractions. They need noise. They can't sit in a room by themselves without reaching for their phone, turning on a TV, or numbing themselves with whatever cheap escape they can find. You know why? Because when you're alone, you're forced to face the truth. You can't lie to yourself anymore. All your weaknesses, all your failures, all the things you've been running from, they're right there in front of you. And most people can't handle that. But me, I embrace it. I live in that silence. I sit in the loneliness and let it shape me. Because when you cut out the noise, when you stop looking for approval, when you learn to stand alone, that's when you become dangerous. That's when you stop moving with the herd and start leading yourself. That's when you stop needing permission to be great. The world is full of weak people who can't function without validation. They need people to hold their hands, to tell them what to do, to reassure them every step of the way. That's why they never break through. That's why they stay average. Because true strength isn't built in groups. It's built in isolation. When I wake up before the sun, when I grind in silence, when I push past my limits with no one watching, that's where my power comes from. I don't need motivation. I don't need someone in my ear telling me to keep going. I tell myself. I know that the more time I spend alone, the stronger I become. Loneliness separates the weak from the relentless. It forces you to rely on yourself. It forces you to build your own discipline, your own drive, your own fire. And once you learn how to thrive alone, once you become completely self-sufficient, there's nothing in this world that can stop you. So the question is, can you handle the silence? Can you walk the road alone while everyone else takes the easy way out? Because if you can, you'll find out what most people never will. That loneliness isn't a weakness. It's an ultimate strength. Keep going no matter what. No matter what happens, no matter how bad it gets, no matter how much it hurts, you keep going. That's the rule. That's the standard. That's the only way most people don't get this. They think effort is enough. They think trying is enough. It's not. Everybody starts. Everybody has motivation in the beginning. But when the excitement fades, when reality punches them in the mouth, when they hit that breaking point where everything in them is screaming to stop, that's where most people fold. That's where they pack it up and tell themselves, I'll try again later. No, there is no later. There is no perfect time. There is only now. And the only thing that matters is that you keep moving forward. See, life is going to throw everything it has at you. Pain, failure, doubt, exhaustion. It's all coming. And when it does, you have two choices. You can stop like everybody else, or you can dig deep, push through, and keep going. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how impossible it feels, no matter how much your mind is begging you to quit, because that's the difference between the weak and the relentless. The weak stop when it gets tough. The relentless, they don't stop. They don't care about how they feel. They don't care about the excuses, the circumstances, the obstacles. They just keep moving. One step, one rep, one breath at a time, they find a way. I don't care if you're tired, keep going. I don't care if nobody believes in you, keep going. I don't care if you failed yesterday, last week, last year. Get the hell back up and keep going. You think life cares about your excuses? You think success is going to wait for you? No. It keeps moving. The only question is, are you moving with it? There will be days when you feel broken, when your body is screaming, when your mind is telling you to stop, when everything in you wants to quit. But in that moment, you have to remember why you started. You have to remind yourself that the pain is temporary, but quitting, that lasts forever. So no matter what, you don't stop. You don't pause. You don't wait for motivation. You don't make excuses. You keep going, because the second you stop, the second you hesitate, you let the weakness win. And that's not an option. So ask yourself, are you built for this? Because if you are, you already know the answer. You keep going no matter what. I did it alone. I keep going. I did it alone. I keep going. At the end of the day, it was always on me. No one was coming to save me. No one was going to do the work for me. No one was going to carry me through the suffering. I had to face it alone. And when the pain hit, when the doubts crept in, when everything in me wanted to stop, I silenced the weak voice and kept moving forward. I learned that pain is the price of entry, that nothing great comes without suffering. And while most people ran from it, I made it my fuel. Every failure, every setback, every lonely night grinding in the dark, I embraced it all, because I knew that loneliness isn't a weakness, it's power. It separates those who need validation from those who create their own. The world tried to break me. It threw everything at me: pain, rejection, exhaustion, but I refused to stay down. I turned my pain into power. I took every moment of suffering and used it to build something stronger, something relentless. While others quit, while others made excuses, I kept going no matter what. And that's why I'm still standing. That's why I keep rising, because I don't stop. I don't break. I don't wait for permission. I did it alone, and I keep going.